people. This is the big one because what we feel about Disney has a lot to do with the people we interact with. And this has to do with cast members. This has to do with just crowds in general. I mean, we've had a bad experience at Walt Disney World with crowds. How would you compare, now that you've experienced both, how would you compare the people at both parks?
I feel like this was one of the most different things about the two parks. The West Coast and East Coast. Because, so the last time we went to Walt Disney World was spring break, which was an absolute, complete nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
As far as the people go. Obviously, Disney made a great time. But the crowds, I mean, there was a reason that video went viral.
Yeah.
Like, I posted a video of the crowds in Epcot, and it was crazy. Because, like, you literally could not, it was like a safety issue. There were so many people.
Yeah.
And it just made it so unenjoyable for me. I was stressed. Like, it was just, I mean, think about how big Disney World is, and there were so many people. Way too many people. Whereas Disneyland, it got crowded as the day went on, but in reality, the crowds were not bad. And I'm sure it's busier during spring break, but, like, it was 6:30 p.m., and there were so many empty tables at Flo's. Like, that would never happen in Disney World. Think about Woody's Lunchbox, a similar sized restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, people fight like vultures trying to get a table. Like, it's terrifying. So, and I will say too, I think it's true what people say, Disneyland is more of a locals park. Like, there were just a lot more locals there as far as Disney World. Like, there are tons of locals because Orlando is big too, but I feel like when people visit from other countries and other parts of the world, they tend to go to Disney World. And that just really changes the culture just because you have so many cultures in one place. People used to walking on different sides of the road. There's a language barrier. And, you know, and speaking as a cast member, like, you want everyone to enjoy the experience, but there are some legitimate barriers there that make it difficult for cast members and other guests alike. And you just didn't see as much of that in Disneyland. You know, it just, no matter who you were talking to, like, it just, there were not as many language barriers, and that kind of helps, I think, with flow of traffic, understanding cast member directions. So I appreciated that about Disneyland. I felt like some stress was taken away there in that aspect. As far as, like, cast members go, though, I was really surprised. And maybe I just happened to see, but I saw a lot of cast members slip-ups at Disneyland.
Tons.
Like, really, really bad slip-ups. Like, I overheard a cast member in public, like, on stage in front of so many people, complaining to her cast member friend about a party of 10 trying to get on a ride. And that, you just don't do that as a cast member. If that family is near you, or, like, and she was loud, and, you know, in my head, I'm like, oh my word, that is such bad show. Like, you don't do that. You don't complain when you're on stage. If you want to complain behind stage, like, it's your party, go for it. But when you're on stage, which, if you don't know, cast members, when you say on stage, that means when you're in the park in front of people, there is absolutely no complaining. Like, that ruins the magic for people around you. We had a cast member make it, like, there was a scene of Coco on one of the TVs in the animation building.
So bad. This was so bad.
And this cast member, oh my word, like, as loud as he could be, makes a joke about family members dying and being annoying in the afterlife. And Coco was on the screen. And I look at AJ and I'm like, what if one of these families just had a family member die? Like they tell you, like, I did the Disney College program. They tell you there are, like, 3 things you do not speak about on stage: death, politics, and religion. Like, those words should never escape your lips. And this poor cast member, he kept going on about this joke, and nobody was laughing. And
he was talking to the void. He was just
I was like half an inch from being like, dude, you're a cast member. We don't talk about death here. Like, cast member to cast member, dude. Like, yeah. And I didn't say anything because I wasn't going to be that person. But, like, just a lot of slip-ups like that at Disneyland. Although I will say, I also saw some great Disneyland cast members. There was that cast member on Main Street in the morning with the stuffed animal waving hi to people. There were 2 cast members playing Disney Guess Who in World of Disney. And they were like, hey guys! Like, you know, like, so there were some awesome cast member moments. Yeah. But there were, and I feel like maybe Disney World is just stricter when it comes to cast members. I saw a lot of hairstyles that I was like, well, that's not allowed at Disney World.
With a mohawk or
like
something.
A straight up mohawk as a cast member. And I was like, well, that's not allowed. Like, you know, and so I don't know if it's because Disney has the DCP and they're super strict or what it is. Like, I was talking to a cast member in World of Disney and I mentioned I had done the DCP and she was like, oh, I got rejected from that. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, but you're still working at the Disney company, which I get it. Like, if Disneyland, if I know that that's super hard to get into the DCP, if you can still make it to Disneyland, like, that's awesome. I think that's great. But it changed. The environment with the cast members was so weird. Also, side note, I know I'm taking a long time on this.
No, you were the cast member, so you go. It
was so weird. So our hotel was across the street from Disneyland. To see cast members walking and biking on a random restaurant
in costume.
Not only in costume, with their cast ID just hanging out of their pocket. Yeah. One, I was like, well, that ruins the magic. There's a reason Walt built the underground at Magic Kingdom. Like, he didn't want you to see cast members in different lands. That was the whole point. Yeah. That was really weird. Like, they should all be changing. That's a rule at Disney World. You don't walk around in your costume. You change. But also, the safety aspect of just walking around with your cast ID hanging out, like, I was like, oh my word. Like, if somebody just snatched your cast ID and you had no clue because it's dangling out of your pocket, you got a random stranger just letting themselves into the backstage at Disneyland. Yep. Like, Disney World, at least in my DCP, was like, that cast ID, like, they told us not even to let it hang out while we worked on shift. They were like, that should be in your pocket for when you need to go backstage. Yep. I was like, oh my word. This is like, my Disney World cast member brain was mind blown at how unsafe that is. So that really was weird for me when it came to the people at Disneyland. Because like at Disney World, I mean, I had a friend get called out for slouching at the register by a coordinator. Like, yeah. Disney World is way stricter with their cast members. So I would say as far as guests go, Disneyland won by a landslide. Yeah. As far as cast members go, Disney World wins. Like, again, by a landslide. The only saving grace Disneyland had was the amount of characters. And because they're cast members, I will count them. I don't work there anymore, so I don't have to have character integrity. But the people, the characters at Disneyland were infinitely better than Disney World. Yeah. Interactions were way better. The amount of them was way better. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, I will take, this is just me, I will take the crowds at Disney World if it means I get the professionalism at Disney World. It just, it seemed like at Disneyland. I
have to separate the categories.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent you have to separate crowds from cast members. But when we're talking about people as a whole, the deal breaker for me is how do you handle yourself as someone who works for the mouse, Disney, as they say. Yeah. And people at Disney World have an integrity, a professionalism, this is how we do things type of mindset there. And Disneyland's just kind of like, I mean, I saw a person out with their phone walking over, saying hi to people as I'm walking by, clearly looking for something, and they just didn't like even say hi to me or whatever. It's not that people didn't do that. Like Hearth and Stone was great, but that's also Disney hotels. So I'm not really counting that compared to the parks. There was just, there's a lack of that it factor of you work for the Walt Disney Company and you need to act like it. Like it just, you could tell people were annoyed. Cast members were annoyed. You could tell they didn't want to be there. You could tell that they were fed up. And you should have zero clue that's going on. Fake it till you make it. And at Walt Disney World, yes, you'll get that sometimes, but the majority of cast members that you're talking to, they love their job. They're proud to be at Walt Disney World, and they care about what's going on. For example, and this is one of your favorite rides. I'm surprised you didn't mention this. Haunted Mansion. When we walked in.
Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah.
The Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World. and every cast member that's there, they act like they are the butler. And they're dead faced. They're making jokes. They're doing the bit. They're doing everything.
It's a show. It's a true show.
And the Haunted Mansion people felt like Six Flags workers and volunteers getting you on your way.
One had their phone flashlight out.
I'll give another example. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. When you have the person at the pre-show, and they have to do, and I get it, you have to do the same bit 500 times on your shift of talking to Goofy on the screen. Sell it. Like, that is your moment.
Our guy was so bored.
He did not care. He could not care less about his interactions with Goofy. Like, you need to interact with that main, like, core Disney, like Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy. Goofy is one of the 5 core characters in Disney history. You need to interact with him like you are amazed that Goofy is your friend and is willing to talk to you. This guy did not care.
And maybe he was sick. Maybe it was a one-off, but this
it doesn't matter.
Pattern.
It doesn't matter. Like I'm a sports fan. When you show up to a stadium for the first time, like we were at Disneyland for the first time, you want to see that player, or you want to see that. And if they're hurt or they have the flu or something, you're gonna give it to them the rest of their life, because I came to see you. So when we go to Disneyland, or when we went to Disneyland, I was stunned that just wasn't even a factor. For some people it was, but you could tell it was the older seasoned people. The younger people, this is your point about the DCP.
Yeah.
The younger people need to look like veterans, and they don't. At Walt Disney World, they are unbelievable.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. You're gonna get it everywhere, guys. But in terms of the percentage, at Walt Disney World compared to Disneyland has way more issues because they don't have the DCP. And I genuinely believe that is an issue. I'm not saying that Disneyland needs to all of a sudden start this DCP, but you need to have a vetting process in your interview to say, hey, what's been going on to this girl that did not make the Disney College program? That needs to be on the resume. That needs to be a question that is asked. That it needs to be. So all I'm saying is, yes, the people are much better at Disneyland as a whole, the crowds and stuff, because a lot of locals, they know their way around and everything. They're nicer, they talk, blah, blah, blah. Like, they know their...
Yeah, we had a lady keep a lane open for cast members to get in.
They don't stop in the middle. Like, we had a couple people stop in the middle of the walkways, but, they don't... In Disney World, that happens all the time. I would much rather... This is just me. I would much rather have the crowd at Disney World having to bob and weave, having to deal with the people from other countries, no offense, who don't really know where they're going. I will take that because of the professionals at Walt Disney World rather than the better crowds, but the lack of professionalism in Disneyland. So, for me, I'm all Disney World right now. I don't think there's a single thing so far that Disneyland does better than Disney World as a whole.
Can I just have both?
You can't have both.
Cast members, the good crowds.
You can't have both. That's why it's the big debate. That is something that we wish we could have.
I think Tokyo has both.